Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back with another episode of The Binding of Isaac Rebirth. Speed Running Edition. Just going through every character, showing how I don't have the skill to do a speed run, how it's going to take lots and lots of failed runs, and how we could potentially, the entire series could be just this over and over again for the next year or so. Well, at least until the DLC is out. And we will more than likely get to the DLC before we have done everything. Two of Diamonds card. All we're trying to do is get to the boss rush room and beat it. Remote detonator, that's real useless. Almost never useful to have the remote detonator. Almost completely never useful. Darn it. Might as well. I suppose on a character like Pin here, the remote detonator might work a little bit to just place a bomb somewhere and not activate it until you've got the enemy in your sights. Like I could put a bomb in the middle of the room. There. And then my shots immediately moved it away. I'll see, that kinda worked. Here. This is Eve, right? Some of these characters, it's just like, I don't even want to play them. Remote detonator. Wasting time with the remote detonator because I'm too dumb. I guess at some point somebody is gonna finally yell at me for calling myself dumb. Unless of course all the universe agrees. Just instinctually knows and agrees. But I'm pretty confident in my level of both wisdom and knowledge. So useful data and ability to ascertain the correct solution to a problem. So I jokingly call myself dumb when I have errors in thinking and forgetful. And probably too much in my head, and that's why I forget so much. But I've always been a very forgetful person. To a fault, to a major fault really. I wish I could remember more things. And I wish I could pick what I remembered a lot of times. Remember the good times, forget the bad times type stuff. More often than not, it's the exact opposite. You remember the bad times and forget the good times, or at least I do. I'm not sure everybody does. Almost certain some people don't. Taking damage like crazy. Yeah, I sometimes think about, at some point in the future, some distant relative may see videos of this and think, why does he always call himself dumb? And then some other distant relative may, depending on whether they knew me or not, might, what is this? Oh, here's a bug. Look at that. He was not lined up. And depending on whether they like me or not, might say, oh, he was dumb. He was just admitting it. And that's not what I mean. I'm joking. A lot of things I say are jokes. Don't take it to mean that I'm really that down on myself. I'm not. And on the comedy thing, I've been trying to be funny, like most people, for most of my life. In a way of, I guess, getting attention. It has been one of the most successful ways to get attention, is to be funny. Anyways, and I've found that it really helps to make yourself the center of the joke, because then you won't be insulting. Usually, nobody will be offended if you make yourself the butt of a joke. Very rare occasion where that is not the case. If somebody really doesn't understand comedy and they really do like you, they might try to defend you against yourself, and so they might become offended for you, even though you made the joke. It does sometimes happen. Oh, I have the claw, which is giving me the bird. That's a funny sentence. I have the Eve's crowfoot, which is giving me the bird, but I also am Eve, so I get two of them. For whatever usefulness that is. Let's see. So was it? I probably should go keep the item though. The trinket is probably better than this dumb safety cap, which I don't even know what it does. Yeah, making yourself the butt of a joke is the best way to tell a joke, in my opinion. Making fun of others, it doesn't work. It's not good comedy. It's not good. It's not entertaining to me. Let's see. Bomb here. Okay, so we got one eternal heart if we can get through this fight. Chad. Chad, get little Chad. Little Chad's gonna give kisses, which red hearts drop. Get this eternal heart. Still boss rushing. Have to remember that. Comedy in itself is hard. It really is. You have to work a lot more than you would think on it. You have to think of good jokes. You have to be fresh and not repetitive. You have to check yourself a lot, because a lot of comedians don't do that. And so they'll say a joke that won't work for their situation that might work for someone else's situation. I want to be original. If you start looking at like the old comedy skits of the 80s, 70s, 60s, any of the really old ones, you'll notice that a lot of them don't play today. They don't fit the mentality of today's day and age. Some are downright offensive. A lot of times there's a lot of race humor in it, and it's just completely unappealing to me, at least, to listen to it. Like, Eddie Murphy is a great example of this, and not trying to attack Eddie Murphy, but his skits were 100% race jokes, and now they wouldn't be airable on TV. And it's kind of funny. I haven't seen any stand-up skits get recorded or played, and maybe he doesn't do stand-up anymore, or maybe he just does it to small select audiences, and maybe he has a whole new set that fixes a lot of his old jokes. But his old stuff is just, no, I wouldn't want stuff I wouldn't even want younger kids to see. Was Eddie Murphy the racist one or the homophobic one? I think Eddie Murphy was the homophobic one. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. A lot of his jokes probably were race related too, but he was the one that they did a bunch of homophobic things. That whole skit in that show, that movie Beverly Hills Cop, the whole banana in the tailpipe, straight from his. That's pretty much his entire his stand-up act. So that's just not something I'd want to watch today. And he does family-friendly movies now, so I guess maybe he cleaned up his head, got a little bit older, a little bit wiser. The times changed. There isn't anybody booing him in his audience, so he was totally with the times when he was being recorded. But things have changed a lot in very short amount of time. Sacred Pyromaniac, interesting. This is an interesting run we've had here. So I have enough bombs to blow my way out of here if I wanted to. It's supposed to be boss rushing. And instead of boss rushing, so the ghost, or instead of boss rushing, I'm taking even longer. This is partially because of this impossible room. So barely survived that. Barely survived that. Explosive diarrhea. Oh, forgot I had the detonator. I guess that is one time in which the detonator helps. Save me just a little bit. Well, whatever. It's supposed to be boss rushing, and I don't really feel like I'm boss rushing. Yeah, I mean, Eddie Murphy playing the donkey on Shrek. Nothing wrong with him in that performance. He made the Vince's Pluto Nash, which was for at least a good long time recognized as one of the worst movies ever made, and apparently sat on the shelf for many years. That they had to find like the one weekend when nothing else was on at all so they could release it and potentially make any money on it at all. But we are behind the boss rush at this point. This is an extra large room that might help us get back on track. That might also mean that we're gonna hit Mom's foot pretty fast, because I think this will push us right into Mom's foot. Can you do that on an extra large floor? Can the second boss be Mom? Not certain. Little Chad there helping out the best he can, giving the red hearts, not that it really matters. The only thing that's really saving me as far as the War of Babylon Curse and the and what is it? The dead bird item that she starts off with. Those are the only things that make Eve even a tolerable character to play, and she's barely tolerable at that. Just want to play regular Isaac, really. Just give me regular Isaac. See, it really shows the setup of this game is that if you want to unlock everything, you are getting kind of forced into oh, I just realized that the worms are the heads in these guys. So they're shooting out the little worms, and then the worms come back in, and then they become the heads. Wow. Talk about not paying attention. Well, you know, you spend all your effort trying not to die. You don't notice the little things. Dark Bum. Interesting. Lil Chad and Dark Bum. So, at this, we can potentially, let's see. Well, the good news is I have the remote control detonator. Potentially let the Dark Bomb take all the extra red hearts, if I have any extra red hearts. But that is a bit of a big if. Interesting. D20. D20. Let's see. Rerolls bosses. But he doesn't. It's not gonna reroll final bosses. Let's see. I hit the D20. And it didn't seem to do anything. I'm confused. Utterly confused at this point as to what the D20 did. Did it change something as far as stats or something? Why did the Horror Babylon disable? Can't be at full health and down to 1 at the same time, apparently. Oh, good news is put that right there. And oh, yeah, I don't have the remote detonator anymore. Good thing I figured that out and stood away from it fast enough. Let's just blow our way out. Hope this is the right direction. And that was Eve. So let's see, we've gone more than halfway through on our speed rush run. Next time will be Samson, and then Azazel, then Lazarus, and then Eden. I think we did a speed rush attempt on Eden before we started this series, just like the episode before, so we may do that again. Might as well. 4 more episodes of these super short, super quick speedrun attempts, just to give a realistic thing. I'm thinking maybe this is the explainer of why I may do more offline in attempts, why there may be gaps in between what you see. I don't know. I'll just have to think about it. As always, I ask that you like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of the video. All of that helps me out. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I am at RydoOfall, RYDOOFALL. If you want to friend me on Steam, it is spelled RYDO_OF_ALL. Have a good day.